Good morning and welcome to Wake Up with the Consciousness Cafe, part of Wisdom Wednesdays at SoulCall Ministries. My name is Lisa Ferraro. I am the founder and spiritual director of SoulCall Ministries. And this morning, it is my great pleasure to welcome Dr. Michelle Harcha. She is a professor and doctor of veterinary medicine through Ohio State University and has recently become a certified facilitator of the work of Byron Katie. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. A pleasure to be here. Really a great ministry that you have. Love watching the Sunday services and the wake up on Wednesday mornings. Privileged to be a part of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the work of Byron Katie and a little bit of what that is for those viewing this morning who don't know.
Sure. Well, I was originally introduced to Byron Katie through Wayne Dyer. I think it was 2008. Wayne and Katie did a program together about changing your thinking, change your life. And I've been a Wayne Dyer fan since high school. Back in Portsmouth, Ohio, walking through a bookstore, I happened to find Your Erroneous Zones. And that really, I was probably on a spiritual path before then, but starting to read that in high school and then following that spiritual path. And so if Wayne Dyer said it, I trusted him. And when he and Katie did this program together, it piqued my interest a little bit. In 2010, I went to Celebrate Your Life in Phoenix, Arizona. And Wayne was the keynote speaker. Byron Katie did a workshop there. And I went for the first time to hear her live in person. It was an hour-and-a-half workshop. I wrote a worksheet on a coworker of mine who I was blaming for my life being not what I thought it should be. And I was pretty confused. Even after an hour-and-a-half listening, I was just confused about the work. Yet I think my subconscious mind knew that there was something there that would benefit me. And in 2011, I traveled to Omega Institute, Rhinebeck, New York. Katie was there, heard her in person. And the first worksheet I did was on a coworker of mine who I thought was my problem. And in line number 1, I'm angry with my coworker because she gossips about me. And so in that process of looking at doing the 4 questions of the work, is it true? Yes. Can I absolutely know that it's true, which is the second question of the work? Can I absolutely know that it's true? I can't know for sure she's gossiping about me. I made up a story that she was. And then how do I react when I believe the thought? So examining how I react when I believe this thought about her, so I had to look at how I was treating her, the stress it was causing me, and how I was treating myself. And then you look at it who would I be in this situation with her without the thought she's gossiping about me? And just see the peace that brings to me in that moment. But the real power for me in that process was what's called the turnarounds, which is in essence the signature of the work. The turnaround, I gossip about her, shifted my consciousness, changed my life, because up until that moment, I blamed her for everything. And when I saw in the turnaround, I gossiped about her, it blew my mind open. It's like, wow, I had no conscious awareness that I was doing the same thing to her that I was complaining about her. I justified it because I said she started it first. And it gave me an amends, and I went back and apologized and that I was gossiping about her. Yeah. And I said that I wouldn't do it again. Yeah. And that's a hard one not to continue to do. And yet I have worked so hard not to gossip about people from that moment forward.
That's amazing. It brings an immense freedom. And in the month of July, which we're in right now, that's a form of freedom, being able to own the thing that is ours to see. Right before we started, we were talking about 3 types of business and whose business is it anyway? Can you share a little bit about that?
Well, I learned this from Byron Katie, who's the founder of the work. And in her book, as well as the little book, everything you need to do the work is available free on thework.com.
Yeah.
And in her book, she talks about the 3 kinds of business. So in the world, I can only see 3 kinds of business. There's my business, which is everything I think, say, do, and feel. There's your business, which is everything you think, say, do, and feel. And then there's God's business, which is everything else. So if I'm here in Grove City and I'm stressed out, I might ask myself the question, whose business am I in anyway? And I may wake up to the fact that I'm not even here in Grove City. I'm mentally living over with my niece and her new baby, or my nephews, my dad who's in rehab post having pneumonia, and who's here taking care of me right here, right now. So for me, the work helps bring me back to the present moment, which is all there is. The work is meditation. It's about meditating on a moment in time to see the truth that arises within.
Yeah.
It's trusting the wisdom inside of everyone, because the work is just 4 questions and turnarounds. So it's nothing without your answers. And I use the work for a lot of different things, helping to make decisions when I'm triggered, and when I have this amygdala hijack in any situation,
Yeah.
when I have an uncomfortable emotion like stress, anxiety, or just sometimes it's been hard for me to name, because as a child, I learned how to, if I had an uncomfortable feeling, first and second grade, I used to bite my fingernails from an early age. I can remember my mom put that thing on my finger to keep me from doing it. I just wash it off and go back to it. That's how I managed my anxiety. Now, as a first or second grader, I didn't know what I was doing. That's what I did. So then I moved on to other substances like eating too much. It's really just, feeling that feeling yet not wanting to feel it. So just stuffing it down, not realizing what I was doing.
And older, those methods, I don't even want to say they're more sophisticated. We have access to other things. People get into drugs and alcohol to cope. And then we get that, I don't want to say necessarily an arrested state of development, but sometimes, and by that I just mean developmentally, just navigating those tides of change, like what we were talking about in June, with tools. So what I'm hearing is this work you're doing with the work of Byron Katie gives people some tools to actually break it down and see it for what it is. And instead of coping, what do we call it? Using our courage to move through in a more meaningful way.
Yes.
How do you say it?
No, I think that you said it beautifully. And for an example, early in the pandemic, I went to Kroger's. And as I'm walking into the store with my mask on, I see a woman who's not wearing a mask. And I was upset by that. How could she be in Kroger's not wearing a mask? I couldn't believe it. I came home, I was upset. Then the next day I was upset, and I was talking to a friend who's also does the work, who facilitated me on a worksheet on she should be wearing a mask. So if you'd be okay, I'll share what I learned about that.
Yeah, that'll be helpful for a lot of us right now. Yeah.
Yes, because we are in an environment, some people are wearing masks and other people aren't. So if I'm stressed out if I think she should be wearing a mask and she's not, who's the one that's stressed out in this situation? I noticed she seems to be okay going through the store on the phone, and I'm the one that's stressed out about it. So I would write there's something called a one belief sheet. So you write your belief at the top. She should be wearing a mask. Is it true? Yes. So the answer to question 1 is either yes or no. So yes, I bring up all the data. I look at the CDC reports. And I'm a veterinarian. I know virology and all that.
Right.
Yes, of course she should be. Can I absolutely know she should be wearing a mask? And so the work is meditation. It's not like that. It's like, so I drop in, and usually when I do the work, I close my eyes. That's how I kind of calm myself. And I absolutely know it's true. And the answer is yes or no. It's not, well, it's like, no, yes or no. And until the answer emerges within, I just stay in that moment. And I may meditate in there for an hour, but in the sake of time today, the answer was no. So the answer is no. I can't absolutely no. And so now I go to question 3. What happens when I believe the thought she should be wearing a mask? Well, I can feel the anxiety coming up. I clench my heart. My teeth are clenched. I'm giving her the look. Even though she can't see, I'm probably frowning underneath my mask. What images do I see of the past and future? All the past. I bring up all the research papers I've read. Then I see her going through the store, spreading virus all over the frozen food section. Then I see her going up to the front of the store, and now she's given it to people who are going to take it home and give it to their parents, and now their parents are on a ventilator.
Wow, so you have this big imagination, this big story.
Yeah, so is is the lady without the mask the problem, or is it what I'm thinking and believing about the lady that's the problem?
Wow.
So it's looking at, past, future,
I
past,
think
future.
even if you pause too with it, is it that's the catalyst for the chain of events we call thinking. And we know that thoughts are things and thoughts create a vibration. So on the science, we've got the science of, we understand how COVID is spread now. Most people reporting facts, let's just put it that way, will agree on that. It's airborne. Most factual things will say that that's true, and they're experiencing it whether we like it or not. I mean, that's the other thing too. Whether we like it or not, or whether we really want to believe it or not, that's fine. But it's what we do with that belief and how charged, like I was hearing you were pretty charged around it. Do our thoughts perpetuate the intensity of this thing? And this is where we get, here's some fact and then here's some imagination. And we know the imaginational realm is true too. Albert Einstein taught us that. He was, and his wife, who was able to write out all of his equations for him. Powerful duo there, but his imagination is what brought a lot of the facts. So is it chicken or egg? I don't know.
Yes. Well, yeah. So, continue on in the work. So then yes, it's a charged situation. We see the effects of how when I hold that thought, when she's there and I'm here. Now, in question 4, you drop in, who would I be without the thought?
Yeah.
Looking at her, that she should be wearing a mask. It's just, I see this woman in a grocery cart shopping. I notice I'm not even feeling anything, and I'm just calm, peaceful. Now, in the turnarounds, that's, again, we're looking for genuine specific examples of where the turnaround is truer than the original statement. So she shouldn't be wearing a mask. I mean, what's the reality of it? She's not. I have no idea. She could have forgotten her mask. She could have a condition of which I'm not aware of. She might not be able to afford a mask. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know her situation. She believes what she believes, and I can't change that. I should be wearing a mask. Yeah, so bring it home to myself, take care of my own business. Whose business am I in when I think she should be doing something that she's not? Bring it home to myself, take care of myself, which is my business. And I still understand the science of mask wearing and what it prevents. I just know that not everyone's going to follow that. It's not the law, it's a recommendation. Some people will, some people won't. It's just, can I stay in my own business, practice social distancing, wear the mask wherever I am, and be okay with that?
Yeah.
And go through my life. And yeah, so the next time I went to the store, I noticed that I didn't even really pay attention to who was and who wasn't. See, if I have this belief that everybody should be wearing a mask, then I notice everybody who's not. And I get upset about that. And that's not healthy for me, or that's not healthy for me. And so it's just doing the work on beliefs like that are causing me stress and discomfort in my life. And just noticing that they let go of me. And they just kind of unravel me. And I have a lot of beliefs in my life that I was either raised with or adopted, or for whatever reason, just believed for some reason, that I'm unwinding to become a kinder, gentler person in the world.
Yeah.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me, my thinking, and one thought at a time.
That's brilliant, because we know there's talking about science and fact. Everyday science is proving that stress causes the chain of events that creates the breakdown in the body, like that creates the illness. So to maintain our peace, the peace that passeth understanding, right? It's just live and let live, sort of, and taking care of what is yours to do. I love that you've got the semblance of the serenity prayer, courage, wisdom, all of that behind you. That's what a metaphor for life for such a long time, and certainly applying it with these tools to help us discover what it is we're doing. That process is a powerful process. I know many lives have been changed, and it's pulling it into where we have control over it. We're talking about control freaks and attention to detail and all those kinds of things, which is important. But ultimately, all we really have control over is ourself. I had a bumper sticker once of a friend that said, "Change the world, change yourself." And there it is. And one calm person at a time. What a world we can create.
What a world we can create. Absolutely. I love the serenity prayer. And one of my mentors, Kay Shepherd, taught me the wisdom prayer. And it's similar to serenity. It's grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change, the courage to change the people that I can, and the wisdom to know that person's me. And I've spent a lifetime trying to change other people to make me happy. If I change my mama to this, I'll be happy. If I change my dad or my brother and sister, and it never made me happy. And finally, when I learned to look to myself to change me to be happy, I mean, that's the true answer there.
I love it. Dr. Michelle Harkey, thank you so much for joining us on Wake Up with the Consciousness Cafe. We're looking forward to your contributions to our newsletter. If you're not already signed up for our newsletter out there, just send us an email at info@soulcallministries.org, or you may just sign up at the website, soulcallministries.org. We thank you for being with us this morning. We thank you for the consciousness you hold out there in community and around the globe. And wherever you are, please know that you are loved.